Doomsday 3.
We're in Doomsday 1. He came from one of the toughest areas of Phoenix, also especially in the course.
Praying for the safety and
on the defense, talking about it. You better get your ass involved. You better get involved.
I just gotta say, when it comes to Dallas,
Different.
for sure. And they would have thrown it off because
This guy gets off you.
Solid and then I go to bed every night like G man, I promise you that What is up, Cowboys Nation? Your boy Mike Tag here, of course, with Greg and a special guest, brother Mike. Unfortunately, I don't know if he's a special guest with all that, all that black and gold on. Well, I'll figure this out. But hey, guys, it's early morning. You guys know, Greg and I are some Canes fans, so we're running on fumes. So I'm happy the game's at night. I might take a little power nap so I can get ready because I got to stay up late one more time. But as you guys are rolling in, man, just hit that subscribe, like, share if you're new to the channel. We definitely appreciate the support. And Greg, how are you doing? You got boots on the ground. You're in the you're in the battle zone. So what's happening?
yeah, I'm doing good, man. We're here in the hotel room, so they're not accustomed to my man cave background. But we're in the hotel room on the battlefield. Been in enemy territory for about 2 days now. Going at it with my brother, who we've been going at it for ever since we've been growing up. But I'm feeling good about today. I think we're gonna pull this one out.
All right. Well, you're there, so you got the vibe, you got the feel, you got all that, and then you also looks like you got an enemy with you. So we got to ask Mike too. Is both you guys? What is the vibe on? Pittsburgh came off a tough loss against Indianapolis. Dallas got the win against the Giants, but they lost some guys. So, I mean, whoever wants to start first, what's the vibe of your team?
Well, the vibe of my team is we gotta do this today because we gotta make up from last week. Well, I think we got bombed last week, but we gotta make up because we're supposed to have the top defense in the NFL, and we kind of made a few mistakes last week. But injury list on both teams look almost the same. We got some major players out. You got some major players out. Dak Prescott he has a point to make. Fields got a point because Fields has been managing football. We just hadn't blown away, so we're going to try to tighten it up. Our running game is going to be decent. Jaylen Warren is out, so, that's a downfall right there, but we are managed with what we have so far. But the vibe has been great here. It's just old data from the 70s. It's going to be smash mouth football. It's rain. It's that type weather. You got to come and get it. It's who wants us the most.
Yep. That's exactly right. And, the weather's been beautiful here. And then all of a sudden today, around tonight, about 8 o'clock, I think they said it's supposed to be a thunderstorm coming through. And, my only concern is that I want both teams to play on an even keel in a nice dry field, because I tend to think that if it's wet, it kind of favors Pittsburgh a little bit because of the type of weather they play in. But either way, our secret weapon is our kicker who can kick 100 miles and kick the ball about 70, 80 miles, somewhere. And I'm thinking if it comes down to it, Brandon Aubrey, he'll get us out of any trouble that we need. So I'm hoping that we go and play football and score touchdowns because Pittsburgh's got a problem with scoring touchdowns. If we score a few touchdowns and then we got that icing on the cake with Brandon Aubrey, I think we just pull this out at ease. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah. And really, Mike touched on it. And the interesting thing is, I don't know how, like, our families, I don't know, how they split off and like they say, your family's exactly like another family. I've got 2 older brothers and all of us are fans of different teams. I'm the Cowboys. My brother, one's the Broncos, and then one's the Dolphins. You guys, it seems all the same, right? Mike, you're Steelers. I know the other brothers, Bills. And
Yep.
you're the Cowboys. How did that happen for you guys? I know my story, but how do you guys all have different teams?
Well, see, me being the firstborn and me and Mike are 3 years apart. My dad was he really liked Bob Hayes when he in the Dallas Cowboys. So of course, whenever Dallas would come on TV, and we're watching them. I always hear him talk about the Dallas Cowboys, and I just fell in love with the Dallas Cowboys. This was around 5 years old, but I really started to know the Dallas Cowboys as I got a little older. But Mike can tell you how he found the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know. I just thought Mike was going to follow me in the Dallas Cowboys, and then all of a sudden I wake up and he's wearing black and gold.
See, back about the story here, short story. It's about 1969 in New York. You know, we didn't have anything to look at, but they was advertised Gale Sayers and Dick Buckets on Kellogg's a long time ago. So, and Jenna on Wheaties box. But my mom took me to the store, and you know, you put a little coin in the machine, and those little helmets come out in a little plastic bubble. And I took the put the coin in the machine and got the helmet out and went home, and it fit on my GI Joe, and it was a Pittsburgh Steelers helmet. So I've been stuck since '69. That's been my team.
And you know, Mike, what's so funny? Because my dad was in the military, we used to have GI Joes, and Mike and I used to take those little helmets and put them on our GI Joes and fight each other like we playing football in the living room.
I'm telling you, we're the same. My oldest brother was a Dolphin fan. We grew up in South Florida, and my middle brother, he started a Dolphins fan, and we used to play football we used to have to share a bed. I mean, back in the day, we didn't have all the, the luxuries. So we had to share a twin bed. So we play football off the bed. He was Tony Nathan. I was Tony Dorsett, and you try and throw each other off the bed. And then he had Reuben Carter, played with the Broncos, went to visit his school because Reuben Carter played at Miami, and we grew up down there. So then he became a Broncos fan. I was a Cowboys fan because my brothers, we'd fight over our clothes because we all have hand-me-downs and share clothes. And so I think my mom got me a Cowboys shirt, and it was 33, and that's how I became a Cowboys fan. So it's very similar. You find a way to identify with the teams, but you picked a great. I have a lot of respect for the Steelers as a Cowboys fan. I tell people I think this is the greatest rivalry in the NFL. They don't play a lot, but if you look at the stats, I think it's 17-16. I mean, both of them have kind of flipped back and forth. Obviously, the three Super Bowls, and you look at the 70s, and I think each one of those teams was in the Super Bowl like every year, one or the other or both. It's just such a great historic rivalry, and there's nothing better than that Cowboy helmet and that Steeler helmet when you see them lining up, that offense and defense line up. You see that, you look down the line and you see those helmets, man. I always get excited for this game. I don't care what the records are. I don't care, how each one is. It's always a great football game. And I think they said the last 5 meetings have been decided by less than 7 points. So I think it's going to be another, it's going to be another battle. But talking about some of the keys to victory, and you guys in the chat as well, you're looking at the Cowboys offense versus the Steelers defense. I mean, who's got the edge where?
Well, I really think that I know we can't run right at Watts, and I think Guyton's going to have to deal with a big test. Him and BB are going to really be challenged today with Watts. I don't care what you do, you're not going to win against Watts. Watts is just the premier defensive lineman. However, I'm pretty sure that the offensive coordinator is coming up with plays to run away from Watts or some gadget plays when Watts pierced the line to get around on the outside. And we got to throw some screens. Remember, I was saying I really like to see Cavante out on the screens, to see Zeke getting some balls on the screens, Dowdle, and then press the ball down the field. Because with Lamb, Flournoy, and Tolbert, I really think if that gets a minimum 4 seconds, and that's going to be tough, we'll be able to find. It's going to be tough. We'll be able to find some people downfield. But it's going to be a real challenge on our running game. I'm just hoping we get lucky, and it's like the best defense in the NFL that we're playing against, and all of a sudden our running game finds a way to make yards somehow. That would be the best opportunity for us today.
Yeah. What do you think, Mike?
See, what's going to happen is, Cam, we're going to try to make Dak beat us in the air, which is going to be impossible because we might double up on CeeDee Lamb's side, and we can just we can just play man to man with Flournoy. But Cam, he's going to plug up the middle, and they listen to 2 names the whole entire game because Highsmith is out, and that kind of hurts. But Herbert and Wilson, you're going to hear it a lot. Herbert and Wilson. So Dak needs to keep his head on the swivel because he's coming.
Yeah. Well, how do you guys match up? Because I know you say, single lineup and double up CD and make the others beat you.
Yeah.
But, we got a tight end, Jake Ferguson, who's been, he's elevating and elevating. I mean, you got the secret sauce to take care of him too?
Oh yeah, that's gonna be Wilson's job. Wilson's gonna come in. Wilson is fast. He's an underdog in the league now because because his injuries and the way we drafted him. But he's a dog, man. He's gonna follow him all the way even to the locker room. When he walks in the locker room, he's gonna be on the side. So he's gonna have his work cut out for him.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Talking about the running game with the Cowboys, lack thereof. I mean, there's really not a lot of respect that a lot of teams have against a running game. So, trying to get Dak Prescott to beat you, I mean, that's probably the recipe because everyone's playing coverage. They don't fear the run. So I would ask you, Greg, can this running game get going? They've talked and talked and talked, but we're just not seeing anything. I'm old school, probably like you guys. If you can't run the ball and you can't stop the run, that's the recipe for ain't winning football. But the Cowboys just have not been able to run the ball. Some of it has been just the way the game flow is. But, the longest run by a running back on the team is 10 yards. They're not averaging very good yards per carry. I mean, what do you think the Cowboys are going to do today? They didn't bring up Dalvin, so it's what you got.
And see, that's what really disappoints me because Dalvin Cook really needs to be in this game, especially playing at Pittsburgh. We need to put everything on the field that we have with people injured to see what we can pull up. Now, what I'm thinking is we don't. Yeah, I know McCarthy's going to run the ball because he wants to see if he can establish it. Because until you try it, you don't know that it works. And yeah, they got the number one defense, but sometimes when you play in the number one defense and you run the ball and you don't have much of a running game, sometimes you get lucky and you realize that these guys kind of got a little complacent, but we're starting to get yardage. You'll say, wow, all these other teams we played, the defense wasn't as well equipped as the Steelers, and we weren't getting any yards. But for some reason now we're playing the Steelers and we're able to pierce the line. So if that works out right off the bat, then they've got to make some serious adjustments. When they make adjustments to that, if our running game is decent, that's going to open up the airwaves big time because they're thinking, man, we don't respect their running game, but somehow they're able to pierce our line and get some substantial gains today. Let's make some adjustments. Well, you make adjustments and pull people up. Now the passing game is wide open. So if we can get some just decent yards, maybe 5-6 yards a pop or something, and not necessarily run it Watts, because I know that the whole defense is tough, but I really think on the other end, there's a possibility for us to open up some gaps and get some yards and get Zeke on the outside with some screens. Zeke can get about 4 or 5 yards downfield, and then all we got to do is get another 6 on a short pass and get a touchdown. So if the running game is just decent, it doesn't have to be crazy, it'll make Pittsburgh have to readjust and play us on both sides of the game.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, flipping it to our defense and their offense, obviously Chris pointed out, we don't got Parsons. We don't got Tank. We're kind of thin with pass rushers. Obviously you got Nealon, Goldston. I mean, obviously Mozzie played his best game last season, but last week, you got to see that consistency, looking back at last season, disappointment he had started slow now, but he had a good game. I don't know. So I guess I got to throw it to Mike because I don't know the Steelers offensive line. I've heard they're kind of, getting things going. They're not great. They're okay. I mean, am I wrong? Or is this something the Cowboys could exploit the Steelers offensive line? I mean, what's your thoughts?
Well, we have one down and one coming back today. He should be showing back up today, a big piece of the lineup. But tell the truth, Cowboys and Steelers are really in the same game as running game. We're not really blazing, putting up numbers right now, but it's gonna come to the running game. If we can get the ball on the ground, we can get Najee, breaking that line like Jalen does. Then it's gonna be a long day. But otherwise, it's gonna be smash mouth. It might just come down to special teams, because I don't think the running game is going to be the factor today. Neither way.
Wow. That makes me feel better because I like our special teams.
Yep. Special Aubrey.
Yeah. No, he's been great. So we got, one of the questions, comes up as Overshown. So, my thought is can the Cowboys create pass rush? You got Overshown, who's just a tremendous athlete all over the ball. He's going to be one of those guys that's going to have to keep Fields in check. Because I'll say this, I've always been a Fields fan when he was with Chicago. I thought it was a mistake that they let him go. They never gave him any talent. I was at the game in Dallas. I believe it was last year we played Chicago there, and Dallas put it on him fine, but Fields was a one-man show. And when he gets out in space and he's able to run the ball, I mean, he can cause a lot of problems, for our defense, especially as depleted we are. So overshooting is going to be the key to me to make sure they contain Fields and let him. Hey, if he beats you with the arm, then he beats you with the arm. But you cannot let Fields get going and running all over the field, because that is just going to open up, throws to Pickens. It's going to open up stuff, where he's going to be running on the, and then throwing on the run. They have got to keep him contained and in the pocket and just not let him loose. I mean, what's your guys' thoughts with Justin Fields?
Yeah, I feel the same way about Fields. I'm not really concerned about him sitting back in the pocket and picking us off all day. I'm a little bit concerned about if he has to get out the pocket, because he can run. And if he can run and he can get 5 or 6 yards at a pop, like you said, that's going to make everybody else have to adjust to Fields running. And then as he's running towards the line of scrimmage, he can find somebody across the middle or somebody coming across the flats to get a few yards. And then that's going to really cause havoc. See, Daniels couldn't do that to us. But the other 2 teams we played, they were able to do that, the ones that beat us. But Fields is the secret sauce for Pittsburgh's success, or they lose today. It's all in Fields' hand, because the defense can't run the ball. The defense is not throwing the ball. Fields is the one that's got to get the ball down the field. Fields is the one that's got to get the drive down to the end zone. And if Fields can't do it, and we're able to keep him in the pocket where he's not really successful running the ball on the outside, that's all we need. That's all we need. We can drive downfield, and if their defense keeps us from the end zone, we can still kick field goals. And I told everybody yesterday that I saw on the streets, I said, one guy that you guys have not even thought about on the Dallas Cowboys, and all you're talking about is Prescott can't do this, you don't have a running game, blah, blah. I said, but you guys failed to realize we got an accurate kicker that can kick about 70 yards. And you guys have been winning on field goals yourself if you get down in the red zone. Ours can kick even further. So he may be the determining factor for us winning this game.
Yeah, I mean, I hope this isn't a field. I mean, Dallas, I think that's the one thing that's hurt them is, and I don't know, Mike, I'll ask you for the Steelers, is they got to score touchdowns. I mean, we settled for too many field goals. We get in there. We got to finish the drives with touchdowns. I think that is going to be the absolute key for the Cowboys. They have got to finish these drives, and nothing wrong with kicking. And I feel good with Aubrey. Right. No, nothing wrong with that. But this offense, they got to get off to a fast start, and they can't keep settling for field goals. They got to turn them into touchdowns. So,
but see what we're gonna do. We're gonna use Muth. Muth's gonna get a lot. Is gonna get a lot of playing time today. He's gonna catch some under routes, and we gonna run in with Washington's also, and then we plan on going with Pickens over the top. So that's gonna be a big challenge. I think Fields will have I think he'll have a pretty good day today. Because he's gonna put it on the ground, and we can just continue like short third and long, and keep your defense on the field. We can wear them down because we got outstanding lines and tight ends and receivers. So I think it's going to be a pretty good game for him today. I really have that feeling, because Dallas got a pretty good secondary back there, but between Muth, Washington, and Jefferson coming in, and then we still got Austin. Austin is a speedy. Austin catch on the routes. He's almost similar to Brady, and what's the other guy's name? The short guy he had.
Cavante Turpin?
No, the little short receiver he had. Whatever.
Oh, Edelman. You're talking about Edelman?
Brandon Cooks.
No, whatever. But he's similar to that combination there. But look for Freemuth today. A lot of catches. Just look for him.
That's your tight end, Freemuth?
Yeah,
I remember that.
We got the answers there, but we're getting a lot of love from a Canes, so I got to take a minute. And I don't know, Mike, are you a Canes fan or no?
No.
Okay.
I'm just riding the wave with Colorado right now. I was coming Alabama. I used to be an Alabama fan years ago, but it just got too rough in that South down at home with me. So I picked up Colorado for a few years. I'm gonna ride that bandwagon and see how that goes.
Well, we love our Canes. It was a great comeback, and I mean, it was, that's why I'm running on fumes watching, stayed up to watch that game, and it was awesome. You see all these college teams going down, and it kind of gets me to what I've been trying to tell, some of my peeps that are giving up on the Cowboys, and some of the people that are just, ready to throw in the towel. This NFL season, just like college, you better be ready to play, and anything can happen. I mean, I'm looking at the standings, and we'll focus on the NFC right now. You got the Cowboys 2-2. You got the Eagles 2-2. You got the Packers 2-2. The Bears 2-2. Tampa lost their 3-2. Atlanta's 3-2. New Orleans is 2-2. San Francisco's 2-2. The whole NFC is wide open. I think when you get the AFC, it's a lot of the same too. You have some teams up at the top at 3-1, but you got a lot of 2-2 teams. There's a lot of football to be played. It looks like it's just going to be one of those funky seasons. So I try and tell these Cowboy fans, you got to get healthy. We got to get healthy, but we got to survive. And the way to survive is you got to beat the teams. No disrespect, Mike. You got to beat the teams that you're better than. And Dallas is better than Pittsburgh. They need to go up there and win this game.
Yeah, and they got home field advantage. That's one thing that I think that a lot of these Steelers fans been running around the street are really relying on, the fact that they got home cooking. But sometimes home cooking don't taste as well.
Well, all I said, I got to be dismissed because I got a few things to do right here. But all I'm saying is we'll leave the light on for you.
Take care, Mike. It's nice meeting you. I do wish you luck, but you know I'm lying. So,
yeah.
So, talking now, we could focus. Now we're focusing on our Cowboy. We're going to focus on this game and how we get this thing going. And like I said, I just love the rivalry. I love the rivalry between the teams, but, really getting on the defense, because this is where it's going to be, won or lost to me, is can they make up for Tank and Parsons and get the pass rush and contain? I think the key is contain, Justin Fields. One thing I thought about, and we talked a little bit on it Wednesday, is you got overshown, Donovan Wilson. Do you blitz? You got to be creative with the blitzes and create the pressure that way, because I don't know if they're going to be able to get it with the front four that they've got.
Yeah. What my concern is, if we blitz, we got to blitz with precision, because if you blitz and you overshoot Fields, next thing you know, Fields is out in the flats. And now we're looking at the DBs having to come back up and chase Fields. So the blitz has got to be a precision blitz. Zimmer's got to strategically figure out how he wants to do the blitz, and hopefully with that blitz, move Fields to his opposite throwing side, so that he's off balance if he has to throw from there. Don't give him the opportunity to run to his throwing side where he can run to the last minute, get to the scrimmage line or almost out of bounds, and he can throw a bullet right across the middle, somebody coming in the flats. Get him running the opposite way, where it takes a fraction of a second, about a good second, to have to stop or readjust and come back and throw the ball. That's all we'll need if somebody's on him, especially overshowing with his speed. So, yes, I want us to blitz and test and see how they react to it. But we got to be smart about it, and hopefully we can disguise it real well, because if Fields sees it coming, if he can dodge that blitz, that's going to open up the territory for him to get yardage. And we do not need Fields to be their running game, because Fields is the best running game the Steelers have.
Yes.
And if he gets outside, that's going to hurt us. And if they realize they can run him downfield, Mike, and he can just get a lot of yards on us, they will look at their running game and say, look, let's just use that as a disguise every now and then. Fields, we're gonna let you run the ball because you're successful. You're getting us in the end zone. I mean, not the end zone, but the red zone. So Fields, I'm telling you, Fields is the entire antidote for the Steelers today. Where goes Fields, goes the Steelers.
Yeah, and their offense has not been. I mean, their offense is low, middle of the pack, and let's just let's just be honest with everything. Is I'm trying to pull up their schedule. And they beat the Broncos, they beat the Falcons opening day. So I mean, you just don't know how that's going to be. They've scored 18 points, they've scored 13 points, they've scored 20 points, and then they scored 24 points recently in a loss. So they're not a high-powered, high-scoring offense. So
Right.
I think it bodes well for our defense being depleted. It's not like they're going up against Kansas City Chiefs or something like
Right.
that. You know what I mean? That'd be a
Right.
long day. So the defense hopefully can just weather the storm of injuries and keep them contained. But they're going to get points. They're probably going to get points on our defense. I mean, just you're losing those guys. You're not, and our defense hasn't been the best. But it's really this offense. The Steelers, their defense is ranked high, but then again, I will go back to the game. I mean, Broncos, terrible offense. Chargers, offense hasn't been very good. The Colts, I mean, that Joe Flacco. I mean, let's calm down. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so their defense, they're, on paper, they're top 5, but are they really a top 5 defense? I mean, I'm pulling up because Ultra said that, and I didn't see the game, so I don't know, but he said Bo Nix, had his way throwing all over their secondary. And if that's the case, then that doesn't bode well for their defense, because Bo Nix is getting like, let's see, Bo Nix threw for 240. He was 20. He wasn't great. 20 for 35 for 246. And they ran, Reynolds, they did a lot of the running guys, had some big plays. So not a great game, but they got some yards on him. Bo Nix is averaging like 50 yards a game. So I guess that's great for him. But do you see this offense being able to attack their secondary? Because I think running the ball, I think we all probably say, running the ball is just not, it's not going to probably go well for them, right? But can we throw on them? You're losing Brandon Cooks. You got Tolbert, who's made plays when called upon, but this is his time to step up. But Flournoy is a guy that has been in the wings and has just been kind of, waiting for this opportunity. And I know I've seen some, interviews with him, and I've seen some, comments that he's made. He's ready, and he's looking forward to the challenge. And it's something that, that I kind of said is we need our young guys more than ever right now to step up. And I'm talking about BB's done a good job. Guyton's going to have his hands full right again. I mean, left tackle rookie. That's why I'm never going to give him any trouble. Overshown. He's played well, but now it's an opportunity for Flournoy. Does he take the opportunity and he doesn't give it back? This is what you want as being a 6th-round pick and, being on the practice squad. Now you've got this opportunity to where you say, what, Brandon Cooks, injuries, sorry it happened, but I'm going to take hold of this opportunity, and I'm looking to get a permanent roster spot on this team, being active every week. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on Tolbert and Flournoy? We know CD is going to be CD. We know Ferguson is going to be Ferguson, but what do you got? How are you? And also in the chat, how are you guys feeling about these two other receivers we got?
Well, Flournoy, I saw some of the comments he made, and you're right. He's chomping at the bit. He's hungry. He wants a chance to get out there and show that he's a beast, and he has the confidence to want to get out there and go. I mean, he is ready. And I was thinking about it in the same light. If Flournoy gets out there and he becomes the next Michael Gallup, so to speak, Brandon Cooks, you might be the second wide receiver, because once he get out there with his height, with his speed and his build, that might just be the antidote we need. Tolbert, knowing that he has to step up, knowing that Flournoy is coming in, and Flournoy may be the one to take his spot, I'm sure Tolbert's going to be trying to concentrate more on catching the ball first and getting those yardage, because there was a couple of plays where Tolbert didn't catch the ball and they were right at him or he fell. And Tolbert's just got to calm down, run his routes, and when the ball's there, just grab it. Now, he's made some clutch plays for us, which is good, but we want him to be more consistent. Consistent. But that's going to rely on Guyton, BB, that offensive line, giving Dak a few seconds. Because if Dak is constantly under pressure, it's not going to work. Because the linebackers are going to come up because they know that he's going to have to pump the ball off to get the running back the ball, just to get it out of his hands. And boom, there goes the running game and stopping our passing game. I really feel that our passing game is going to exploit these Steelers. The only issue I had was when I saw the weather. The weather's been beautiful this whole week. And all of a sudden, tonight, not today, tonight at game time, it's going to rain and a storm comes
I was
through.
going to ask, because I heard rain. Does it look like that's going to be the case? You're up there.
Yeah, 8 o'clock.
Okay.
They got I'm looking at local weather. When I was looking at, they got a storm coming through. It's supposed to come through at 8. And I'm like, man, it's almost like the Pittsburgh heavens are saying, look, y'all got your Cowboys coming in. They're hurt. Y'all hurt. But the Cowboys got a better opportunity to beat y'all. Let me give y'all an extra piece on this recipe to help you. Let me bring in some rain, a thunderstorm. And you know, I've never seen our Cowboys in a passing game really be that successful during rain.
Yeah.
I've seen the balls go through their hands. I've seen them slip. I've seen them not catch the ball. Now, every team has that issue. But I can't remember when I saw our guys in a rain game where we were still able to catch that ball, or they adjusted to pull it into their chest and take over. So I'm hoping kickoff's supposed to be at 7:30. I'm hoping by the time the rain rolls through, we've at least got some kind of points on the board. We're driving to get them, because that rain, I'm telling you, it can be the X factor, and I don't want it. Even keel, dry field, I think we got this.
Yeah, and you know, rain, you know, that means running the football, and
Right.
you know that's been trouble for the Cowboys, and that, you know, it's always been a strength of the Steelers is their run defense. So, you know, you look at what they've got. If they got to go and smash mouth, you know, my man, you know, Steven, get Hunter Lipke going in that rain. I mean, then I'm
Yeah.
looking at Zeke. I'm like a Zeke in the rain. You know, guys that are going to be powerful. It's just going to be just a mud fest if it ends up raining hard and all that kind of stuff. Because I think throwing the ball in the rain is not easy. You know, it always ends up being a little bit of a problem. So, and then you got turnovers will be a huge part if it's rain, fumbling and stuff. That's what I'm saying is I'm looking at the guys like a Zeke who doesn't have really a fumbling problem. He's a veteran. He'll be able to hold it down. But hopefully the weather holds off, or hopefully it goes through quickly and it's not an all day thing. But yeah, that's not good news with the weather. Not good.
No, and you know, Guyton, even though he's going to be tested by Watson, there's no antidote.
Well, you're gonna have Watts is probably going to be on Steele a lot, and that's a big concern. But they, you know, because typically I think they keep him, you know, on the same side, but you never know. I mean, you're going up against, you know, if they see opportunity with a rookie, he's had a lot of holding calls and a lot of penalties. But Guyton and Steele are gonna, both of them are gonna have to they got their work cut out.
Yeah, they got their work cut out, and if they can give Dak just a little time, Dak can exploit that secondary. And then at the same time, when I say that, Dak can't be trying to throw through some real tight windows, because one thing about the Steelers, they are quick to disguise their coverage and have that speed to move on a window real quick and intercept the ball. So Dak's going to have to be really smart with the ball too. And then if Dak's got to run and he's got an open field, Dak needs to run. He needs to run. He slide and get down, but he needs to run.
He needs to run to get the first down. You got to extend drives. Just get the first down and go. What he can't do is what my man Cam did. He had me so aggravated last night. Is you never throw across the field. And
no.
That was one mistake I saw Cam make. I was like, Cam, come on now. So, I mean, you got to play disciplined football on the road. You know, Jimmy Johnson always used to talk about it. I mean, any of the great coaches, I mean, it's common. I'm not saying anything that's earth-shattering, but turnovers are going to be the name of the game on the road. You've got to protect the football, and you just can't make any mistakes. So, I mean, Dak, he's been fine protecting the football. There hasn't really been an issue. I think the turnovers, I think we're in plus, plus territory, not negative. I think Eagles are like the worst. I mean, they're the shittiest team when it comes to turnovers, but thankfully we're not them. But I think we're plus, but they got to protect the football. They got to protect the football on the road, in the weather. It's going to be so critical. So.
Yeah, and they're I don't know the actual stat, but I think that their field goal kicker has probably scored more points for the team than anybody else. And he's pretty decent at a short to medium distance, but he doesn't kick long. But if it comes down to it, Mike McCarthy, one thing I like about him when it comes to field goals, Mike will take that risk and kick a 50, 60-yard field goal, because he knows the type of weapon he has in Brandon Aubrey. So if that comes down to it, a point is a point. Points are points. And that can set us up for everything else. But there's no way that the Cowboys don't get in the end zone tonight. And one thing that the Steelers have been able to do with several teams is not allow them in the end zone at least a couple times, except for the fact Indianapolis was able to exploit. And then Flacco came in there and he just put a clinic on them. So I just want us to be able to drive that ball. If we get stymied and I see Dak back there getting shaky and not wanting to release the ball, or he's taking sacks, or our offensive line is getting beat down and Dak gets no time at all, it's going to be hell for us. It'll be hell for us all night long. But if we get just a little time and we got some scheming, which I'm pretty sure the coaches are coaching to. They've been watching Pittsburgh's film. They know where the weak spots are. They know where the blind spots are. If they exploit that, I think we come out okay. But Mike, I've been having this vibe all week, man. I haven't been nervous one bit. I just been having this vibe that this game is ours, that Pittsburgh's 3-1. They're only 3-1 on paper. They're really not that good, but they just happened to get some luck in Atlanta when Cousins tried to throw through double coverage when they could have went down the field and won the game in the field goal. And they just got lucky, but that 3-1 is a facade.
Well, and I was gonna just add and get your comments too. I mean, let's focus on their offense, right? Because I think our offense I think we could put up points on them. I mean, I don't think we're going to put 30 on them, but I think we could put enough to win as long as our defense plays. So you're looking at let's just run through their offense. Justin Fields, he's throwing a very high completion percentage, but he's not throwing much down the field. He's not throwing much down the field. It's a lot of short, dink and dunk kind of things. Their running game, and we get a lot of criticism on running game, rightfully so. I can't stand our running game right now. I mean, Najee Harris is averaging 3.4 yards a carry. Justin Fields is averaging 3.8 yards a carry. Patterson, I believe, is out. He runs a little bit, not as much. He's usually like their gadget guy. He's averaging over 5 yards a carry. But if you just focus on Harris and Fields, those are their two guys that carry the ball the most. It's not like, I mean, we're depleted a little bit at our line, but it's not like we're going up against, Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders in their prime. Their running game has struggled. So this, bodes well for our defense as a police. We got to take advantage of that. We cannot let the running game get going. We got to contain Fields, and we got to get Najee Harris wrapped up and keep him at very minimal games. It's very similar to what we did to the Giants. And then you look at Fields, and their weapon is Pickens. I mean, that's it. I mean, that he has been, their bigger playmaker, but he's only averaging 14 yards of reception. He's got 20 catches. I mean, so I guess what I'm saying, their offense is not, it's okay. It's not great. Yeah. We need to make sure it stays okay. We can't make the okay offense look great because of that. So that's where they just gotta the defense. It's gonna come down to that, man. When you're there, how this defense is looking. Are they looking good? We're not giving up big chunk plays in the running game. If we can hold them and keep it close on their side, we just gotta. I think our offense will put up enough points to win the game.
Yeah, because what people aren't talking about is Pittsburgh's offensive line. Their offensive line isn't stealth. Yeah, that's why Fields has the dink and dunk. And what he does great is he throws the ball where he has the opportunity. He takes what's given, and that's why he can dink and dunk and get all those yardage, because he knows that his offensive line isn't giving him a lot of time. So he's just dumping the ball off. And those short plays like that, you can be a 95% passing rate quarterback if all you're doing is just dumping the ball off. And his offensive line isn't any stronger than ours. So when you're talking about the two offensive lines, I think we're about equal. But if we get the pressure on Fields, my only concern is we need to contain him when we get that pressure. Don't get in there and all of a sudden let him get out of that pocket and come up in that pocket. Now he's looking downfield, but he's got a bunch of yardage in front of him. That's a danger because Fields can run. And I think that's why Tomlin, despite the fact that Russell is supposed to be hurt, I don't think he's hurt to the point where he can't play. I think Tomlin knows that both of these quarterbacks aren't what they really thought they were getting. But in Fields, you have more of an opportunity to run the ball and get yardage than you do with Russell Wilson, because their passing rating isn't that good other when it comes to throwing the ball all over the field. So if we can contain Fields and make him just dink and dunk, that's the type of game we want, because it'll keep the ball in front of us. If we force him to throw the ball downfield, he's doing that only looking for a pass interference play, because I think our corners are just going to feast on that. But Fields' biggest asset, I think, for the Steelers is going to be running the ball. If he's able to sit back there in the pocket and throw the ball, that's going to be a problem. But I think the pressure that we put on them, just like every other team has, because their offensive line is not that great, is going to force him to have to either throw the ball off quick, which we should be able to adjust to, or make him run. And I but I'm more concerned about Fields' ability to run out of the backfield than I am about any of his passing.
No, absolutely. I mean, that is going to be the name of the game is keeping him contained, keeping that running game contained. I don't think he's going to beat him with his arm. I don't think they have the receivers. I don't think they got the weapons, even though we're injured. You know, you're looking at the injuries we've got in the secondary. You know, Diggs was questionable. I think he's going to play. You know, Carson's questionable. He was limited in practice, but I think they'll probably give it a go. I think they feel, you know, the Cowboys feel this game is critical because, you know, you don't want to look ahead, right? I know that, but we can as fans. We don't want the players looking ahead, but they got Detroit next week. That's going to be a tall task. That's going to be a tall task to try and beat a Detroit team without two of your best defensive players. It's going to be a problem. I mean, they're going to have their hands full. They got to win this game. You know, they need to hover around 500 until the troops come back, because they got the bye week and then you're at San Francisco. And then I think you've got, let me look at that schedule. We can look ahead a little bit. We don't want our team to look ahead, but you got San Francisco, you got the Falcons. I mean, who've been playing better. Eagles have been terrible. So, I mean, that's, you thought it was going to be a tough game, but that looks like that might be the gimme that they need. And then you got the Texans, who Texas have been good. Washington, I'm curious to see how Washington does today against the Browns. I believe they're playing the Browns. That'll be interesting to see, because everyone wants to anoint them as like way up here. And I was like, dude, a couple of weeks ago, they couldn't score a touchdown against the Giants. I was the world beating NFC champion. So there's still a lot of football to be played, but the Cowboys hover around that, 500, game up on 500. Down that stretch, I mean, that Thanksgiving, which is always the key, you got the Giants, you got the Bengals at home on Monday night, you're on the road against the Panthers, you got Tampa at home, your road against Philly, which they'll probably be packed it in by then, and they'll already, probably won't even have Hurts at quarterback by then. And then you've got Washington at home. So you've got a home stretch. Like right now, they're playing a lot of road games. They've got to weather the storm. But and where I'm getting at with this is they got to beat the Steelers. Yes. I know we're missing our guys. They got to win this game. They're a better team. We've got the better quarterback. Dak has got to play like a superstar. CeeDee Lamb got to play like a superstar. Diggs has got to play like your stars have got to be superstars when you need them most. And, it's going to be they're going to have to carry the load a little bit till some of the cavalry returns.
Yeah, because after the Steelers, we go through a gauntlet. And that gauntlet is where
except for Philly. Philly's not a gauntlet, right?
No. With the gauntlet with Detroit, the 49ers, and even Atlanta. You can include
Atlanta's
Atlanta
playing
in that.
good. Yes.
Yeah, so that's going to be a 3-game gauntlet. But the Steelers are the most vulnerable team right now for us to be able to take advantage of and beat. We lose to the Steelers, it has to be a total flop. It has to be. I can't see with what we have, even with our injuries, that we lose this game to the Steelers. I just don't see it. I don't see anything on the Steelers other than the fact that they got one hell of a defensive line, not defense. It's because of the defensive line that their defense is highly rated. The defensive line is shutting down running games and not allowing quarterbacks to be able to pass the ball. It's not their cornerbacks. It's not their DBs that are shutting people down. It's Watts and that line. Other than that, I don't see any weapons. Their running game is no better than ours. Their quarterback is a hit and miss, and he's, to be honest with you, him or Russell really aren't their permanent quarterback. That's just all they have to go with right now.
They're holding until they draft them.
They're DBs, linebackers. It's not like they're the top of the game. We can exploit them. We have the better passing game to exploit this. That's the key for us. Dak just needs a little bitty time, not much. And our passing game can exploit him. We got Convante Turpin, who can outrun anybody, which I'm sure they're going to have design plays for.
Use him as as a complement to your running game, like you said, with some short passes, get him in the open field and let that. It's almost like I go back to and Mark, yeah, this San Francisco's not playing good right now. They're dealing with injuries like we are, but let's all not kid ourselves as the Dallas Cowboy fans. We don't really, we don't want San Francisco. I mean, I ain't looking forward to that game. I hope we got to get over the hump and beat them, and maybe that's the opportune time. But I'm not licking my chops and saying, man, I can't wait to that game. I'd much rather see us play them. But looking at the offense, I think back to the Patriots, and it was opening night. I don't know what year, but I think it was the year that Pittsburgh was coming off a Super Bowl win. And they opened with the Patriots, either it was at Thursday night or Sunday night, whatever it was. And Patriots really didn't have a strong running game at all. They went out 5 wide. It was an aerial attack, quick pass, boom, 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 all quick passes. And they annihilated this Pittsburgh defense. And it was a better Pittsburgh defense than today. But they gave him so much trouble. It was so unexpected. They caught him off guard, and it just ended up rolling them easily. And that was at Pittsburgh. I'm almost 99% sure it was. So that's where I just say is I think Cowboys, if you can't get this running game going, you're going to have to create it, and throw them out wide, and just be quick passes.
Yep. And I hope the offensive coordinator is thinking on that same level. Don't come vanilla with the same old type of plays thinking, well, we're just going to try these first. No, come up with something creative, especially on offense, because where goes our offense goes this game. Because if their defense is shutting down the running game, okay, we already know our running game isn't up to par. But our offense can throw that ball and get it in the air. We get that ball in the air and we score points in the air. They're going to really start to implode, because how are they going to stay on Tolbert? How are they going to stay on CD Lamb? How are they going to check Turpin? How are they going to get Flournoy? They know nothing about Flournoy. So,
yeah.
And other than what they can look in the draft list, and I think they might be complacent when it comes to Flournoy, thinking, okay, we can play him man-to-man, don't worry about it. I don't think we got to put somebody big on him. Flournoy can catch the ball. Like I said, he can catch the ball like Gallup. He can do some acrobatic stuff, and he's a big guy. And Flournoy is ready. It's not like he's coming off the bench and, he's had some issues and he's not confident. This man is ready. And if we design plays for him so that they're thinking we're going to double team CD because that's who Dak wants to go to all the time, and we hit all 4 of those receivers, they can't keep up with that. They can't keep up with that all day. And Dak, when they give us something, take that. Don't always go for the home run. When they give us something, take that. And then let it set us up for the big hit. Let it set us up for the one downfield. So I'm telling you, I don't see how Pittsburgh dominates us and beats us in this game unless we just flop.
Yeah.
We just flop.
It would be a turnover, it'd be the turnover fest. If they make bad plays, they fumble, interception, whatever that is, that's always a great equalizer. That makes average teams bad and average teams great if you're on the other side of turnover. So, it's going to come down to the turnovers. They're going to have to really protect that football and not make mistakes, but they can't play scared either. No. Right? We can't play scared. They have to attack, and Dak's going to have to attack. And, there was a comment by my man, Steven, getting Zeke more. Someone has got to be the lead dog. If it's Rico, if it's Zeke, however the hell you guys want to pick at this point, I really don't care. I think someone needs to be the lead dog. They need to be in that groove. And they neither one of them just seem like they're into the game. They're not really getting into the flow of the game. And I think rhythm is so important with a running game, especially those types of running backs. If you had, back in the day, like a Felix Jones or Pollard before they made him the man, you can give him 4 or 5 carries and they're just explosive. Guys aren't explosive running backs. These are guys that are going to be like battering rams that just need to wear, it's bang, those 2-yard carries turn into 5 or 6 yards carries in the fourth quarter. It's like with Emmitt Smith. He never lost yards. It was always boom, 3 yards, 5 yards, 4 yards.
Right.
And then in the fourth quarter, it's 15 yards, 20 yards, 25 yards, 30 yards. That's what I think one of them has to, they gotta settle on one, and then just if it's Rico, then just let Zeke be your 3rd and 1 guy, your inside the 5 guy, almost like Williams, or Ingram back in the day, the Saints and stuff. Just let him, that's his role, and just let him do it. But they've got to figure out, the running game, and then maybe why Dalvin Cook isn't brought up. I have no idea.
I have no idea.
What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose at this
Nothing.
point? What do you have to
point?
lose?
That's the point. We got nothing to lose by bringing Dalvin Cook up and letting him run that ball. And I just don't get it. But Zeke, I'm pretty sure, is lamenting on what he did last time he was up in Pittsburgh and how he ran that 60-yarder at the end of the game to win the game, and then how he ran that screen all the way down. I'm sure Zeke is thinking about that, and I'm sure Zeke is thinking, I really want to put up some numbers in this Pittsburgh game, going back to the same grounds where I did that before. So I'm really looking for Zeke to kind of break out a little bit. They haven't done anything yet, but I'm still looking for Zeke to break out a little bit and get some yardage, because Dowdle's just going to try to pound straight up and down. And if the hole is closed, Dowdle's not going to get much. I don't know how much Deuce Vaughn is going to be integrated into the offense. But Kevontae Turpin, with his speed, if he gets out there and he jukes past somebody, he needs to get the ball. Because that young man, that little young speedster, that's a road runner. He can run. And if we start hitting him and getting those plays out in the flat to the running backs, and they start adjusting, now we come back to CeeDee Lamb, Tolbert, Flournoy. We got too many weapons on offense that we should be able to exploit that defense secondary easy. And if it's a matter of Dak not getting any time back there, it's just going to be an ugly night all night long. And I just hate to see that. I hate to see when Dak gets the ball, as soon as he gets the ball, he's got defense in his face. Yeah. But he's got to be smart with the ball then. If that's the case, adjust and throw that ball out in the flats. And when they know you're going to get rid of it quicker, maybe they'll come in and rush, but then they'll try to cover the flats at the same time, and that'll give you time to throw the ball downfield.
No, absolutely. And just real quick, a little programming note for our sponsor, obviously Autograph app. You guys know it. Make sure you download it if you haven't already. Follow your favorite team. Follow the Canes. Follow the Canes. You can follow the Cowboys. You can follow Michigan. Even though they were, I knew Vegas was up to something when they made them an underdog. I knew something was going on. A lot of upsets in college football. But follow your favorite. It's a free app. You have tickets with no fee. You can buy tickets for NFL games, favorite team games with no all those fees that SeatGeek and all them throw on you. And right now for the Cowboys, because that's what I'm partnered with them on, the Cowboys, is they're giving away a framed, signed Dak Prescott jersey. Going to be given away in January, so you got time to build up your points, and you use the points that you get from watching certain content and seeing the articles that they have that they pull from all the various websites. You get points and you can register to win that jersey. So that's badass. You can download it for free at the App Store. Just reference Mike Tag in the reference code. You can go to cowboyscave.com, and I've got a link there that'll take you right to the App Store. It even puts my name in there to make life easier for you. So there's no way that you can't do it. It rewards your fandom. It's actually co-founded by Tom Brady and his crew. A lot of heavy hitters in there. So do that. And then lastly, we've got our 3,000th giveaway. Thank you to everyone. We surpassed 3,000 subscribers. So Wednesday, we're doing our Bob Lilly giveaway. Mr. Cowboy, one of the greatest of all time, signed Funko Pop by another legend, Tom Landry. It's a really cool piece of memorabilia that'll look great in your cave. So you guys check that out. And I don't think I'm missing anything else. But, of course, make sure you guys hit that subscribe, like, and share. Appreciate all the support in the cave. But let's put a bow on this, because I know you got a big day ahead. I don't know if you're doing any tailgating, or you guys just going to kind of walk around a little bit, but we're getting into that time of predictions. So love it in the chat. All you guys hanging with us. I would love to get your predictions as well. And you can be honest. If you don't think we're going to win, then say we're not going to win. No one hates. Yeah, Kelly predicted us to lose. My man Kelly, of all people, predicted us to lose this week. So I will give you the honors, Greg, of what do you think of this game? How's it going to play out?
Well, first, let me give a shout out to Thomas, Dallas Cowboy fan I met last night at Mike's restaurant. It's like Mike's Bar and Grill restaurant. Thomas was sitting next to us. He's a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan. So Thomas, if you're out there, you hear that, download that app. You never know, you could possibly win. But I want to say a shout out to you. Hope I see you out there at the game today, Thomas. I'm looking at 27-17 for Dallas Cowboys winning. And that the reason why that number comes up to me, 27-17, because I'm looking at the odds. I'm looking at how we score our points, how they score their points, how they may possibly get this, get that field goal. And then that 21-17 kind of remind me of a game where we played them in the Super Bowl. I think it was 27-17 or something like that, 21-17, something like that, where Pittsburgh beat us in that Super Bowl with that Lynn Swan catch. But the prediction 27-17 is what I'm looking forward to, that we win. But either way, I see us winning this game. We lose this game, it's only because of a total flop. No way in hell it's because Pittsburgh dominated us.
Yeah. Well, of course, Mike came in just in time. I mean, he probably wants to defend his team. So what is your prediction and how do you think this game plays out?
Pittsburgh 24-21. Dallas scores at the last minute and tries to get the ball back, but we stop them 4 downs out, and we out of there 24-21. Game done.
Game done. All right. Well, like I said, I'd wish you luck, but I'd be lying. So hopefully you guys have a great time. I see a lot of Cowboy, scores there. So I have it 20-17 Dallas. I think it's going to be a low scoring, close game. I think, like I said, I think Dallas just has a little bit too much, on the weapons. I think they got the better quarterback. I think a lot of times it comes down to the quarterback. I trust Dak more than I trust Justin, even though I like Justin. Like I said, I hope the Steelers give him the opportunity. Don't go to Russell Wilson. I think they might have something with Justin Fields and get him a few more weapons. But I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a defensive battle, which is crazy to say for the Cowboys. Not much of a defense, but I think maybe I said it in my hype video, is when you're a wounded animal. I mean, Cowboys are wounded. They're hearing all the hate. 28%. There was some survey. 28% of the Cowboy fans think they're going to win the game. Most people don't think they're going to win on their own side. A lot of people jumping ship. A lot of people giving up. They hear it. They can say they don't hear it, but they hear it. And I think they're going to come out with some passion. I think they're going to come out with something to prove. You got Flournoy, who definitely, I think he's a guy that's got something to prove. Justin, or Jalen Tolbert's got something to prove. So I think these young guys, it's an opportunity for them to step up. If TJ Watt gets going against Steele, then I might have to change my mind, but I'm hoping that they've got a plan to at least contain him and not make him take over the game, because if he does, then we're going to be in some serious trouble. But I see a lot of Cowboy stuff, so I definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate all you guys hanging in the cave. So what are you guys doing? You're the brothers. Is it you're sitting next to you're sitting on opposite sides, I heard, after the game, or is it going to be friendly, or you don't speak to each other? Because I have a thing, like our brothers, for some reason, when our teams lose, we never say anything. We just kind of like, who's gonna break the ice to kind of do it. You know what I mean? So do you guys trash talk to each other after the game, or is it kind of, you're the other one's upset and pissed off, or you don't want to kind of rub salt on the wound? What do you guys do?
We trash talk from when we rolled over and woke up this morning.
That's right.
And when we come back tonight, gonna be trash talking.
We're gonna be trash talking again.
It never ends.
And you guys are in the same room, so someone's sleeping outside or in the lobby.
But here's the thing, Mike. We never get mad at each other, and fight or get mad at each other like that or nothing. We trash talk, but it's fun trash talking, because we all three of us brothers, we love each other so much that even we trash talk from the time we find out our teams are gonna play each other to the time they're playing, to the time afterwards. But it's all in love, but it's good, funny, stomach turning, trash talking, laughing. But it's gonna be fun. And I've talked so much trash to the people in the streets, to the people at the hotel, to the people in the cars, to the people even riding in the double-decker bus when they pass by, and I hollered, "How about them Cowboys?" ever. I did a video on the other night at the back of the stadium while the staff was all around there.
Yeah.
So, you know, I see it coming if it happens, but I can take it. You know, I can take it. It doesn't bother me. But they know when we win, they got to run and hide from Gregory Girard because it's coming.
It's funny. My brothers, we used to have this tradition, and it sucks because we don't do it anymore. And it was always when the Dallas Cowboys stunk. A lot of times, that's when we did it. But you know, Superman used to have the if you remember the Superman movie, it was the whole thing on Superman 2 was Zod, and you had to kneel before Zod. So we used to call it the kneel match. And whoever lost, we'd get in front of the stadium. The other would have to kneel down, you know, and freaking every time we went, the Cowboys would lose. I said, I'm not doing this shit no more. I said, it's like I'm a jinx, but it happens. So it's always great brotherly rivalries. And it's, you know, we're all, well, my oldest brother and I are both Canes fans. My dad's a Canes fan. So that we have, and it is kind of cool that you can, you know, you go to the games and you're cheering together, but we do love the opposite. When my brothers and I go to the game as Dolphins, Cowboys, or Broncos, Cowboys, or whatever, it does make for a great time and a lot of trash talk and a lot of good fun. So you guys have a great time. I hope the Cowboys handle that business. Make sure, what do they have there? What's the one when I was in Pittsburgh? I think I went to Mike's, but they got a sandwich there that has the coleslaw on it. Is it Sloppy Joe? Is it the Sloppy Joes they have there?
I don't know the name of the sandwich. You know, I have to go to Permani at one of those and Mike's. I don't know the name of the sandwich.
If you guys go eat, it was phenomenal. I just loved it. I think they called it Sloppy Joe, but it wasn't the Sloppy Joe that I'm used to. But it was good. They've got some great food down there. The people were awesome. We had such a good time.
They are.
When I went. And like I said, this is a rivalry that transcends time. So it's always going to be a great game. And I think it's going to be, hopefully the Cowboys come on top. So Greg and Mike, thank you. Everyone in Cowboys Nation, thank you for hanging out in the cave. Like I said, I was up till like 2 a.m, so I need to get some sleep. No, we don't need none of that Steelers stuff. I need to get some sleep, so I'm well rested. So you guys have a good one. Take care, Cowboys Nation, and go Cowboys.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.